I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33, and my channel, the Shadow Teacher 33 YouTube channel, and the Shadow Teacher 33 BitChute channel. These channels are devoted to human potential. They're devoted to the path of expressing the highest version of what we're capable of becoming and being in this life. And human beings, though I'm kind of a loner, not just kind of, I'm a lot of a loner, yet part of the human condition is living in relationship. We're always in relationship to our environment. We're always in relationship to other people. And we're meant to have quality relationships on our time here on Earth. Some humans need more people around them. We're extroverted personalities. Others, like me, don't need a whole lot, don't want a whole lot, but those relationships I do choose to water in my life. Those are relationships that need to be of quality. And relationships require a certain amount of cultivation, a certain amount of effort, a certain amount of intention. But there should also be an ease to relationships. There should be something that just feels right about the people you bring into your inner circle, the people who you bring into your heart. And I'd say the first relationship is the one with yourself. You have to know what you're about. You have to know who you are, what your values are. Have a sense of what elevates your mood and energy and what brings you down. And the people who you have close to you should always bring you up. They should always bring value to your life, and you should always bring value to them and bring them up. There should be this synergistic feeling between your relationships where the mood and the feeling is elevated between the two of you or the group of you, whatever. And you know that there's something special, something profound, something sublime about that connection. And sometimes we have our disagreements. Sometimes us being human beings, we can be triggered by our own traumas and be in a bad mood. And then we have a day when we're in a bad mood, in a low state of consciousness, and a friend or a romantic partner, companion, we happen to have some time with them, and they're in a bad mood, they're in a low state, and our bad moods collide, and we get in a big fight. We are not connected at the heart in that moment. We get in a big fight, and we may have to have some space from each other from those moments. But we are human, and fights happen, disagreements happen. We're not always going to be in a high vibe. We're not always going to be vibing at the space of peace, love, and joy. There are days where we're going to be triggered by insecurity, by jealousy, by anger, by fear, by shame. There are days when those lower feelings come up. There are days when we may have some unhealed trauma in us, even though we've been doing our work, and that gets triggered. And that shows up, and we start projecting that out onto another person. And again, the worst days is when we project our shit out, and they project their shit on us, and we disconnect from the heart. But true loving relationships, they don't end. True loving relationships, beneath all of the nasty feelings that may show up in a moment, beneath all that, if it's a relationship that's worth keeping, there's love, there's trust, there is value and respect for that other person. So even though we may have fucked up, we may have said something stupid or done something stupid that we have regret and shame over, that's where forgiveness comes in. Where practicing a greater sense of awareness comes in, forgiving ourselves and forgiving the other. And relationships that are worth keeping, that happens. We're able to forgive ourselves, we're able to forgive the other, and we're able to move on without holding a grudge. And we actually help each other work through, if there's any unhealed trauma, you could actually be a light of awareness that helps each other work through whatever's going on, so we can figure out how not to repeat behaviors and say words and do harmful things that we regret in the future. But some relationships are meant to end. Some relationships are meant to go away, and that person may be in your life to teach you something. And if you can't talk things out with a person, if there's not that base level of love and respect, and you hold a grudge against that person, or they hold a grudge against you, that's probably someone you don't need in your life, and they probably don't need you. That's probably a relationship that's worth letting go of, that's worth releasing. And every time we have a relationship that falls apart, where someone fades away, or they go away because we can't work things out, we learn something about ourselves if we allow it. If we allow the lesson, we have a great opportunity of growth. And they do as well. But the ones that are worth keeping, the relationships that are worth keeping, they don't end. Sometimes time and circumstance will pull you apart. Sometimes a fight and hard, cruel words may put a pause. But relationships that are truly worth keeping are always going to be there. You'll always find a way to come back and reconnect at the heart and work out any kind of disagreement that you have with each other. And as I said at the beginning of the video, it's important for us. We need quality relationships, quality people in our lives. People who can give us unconditional love, and people who we need to give our love to as well. That reciprocal relationship that's based off of something bigger than all of us. And that thing, that energy, is love. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission. Be strong. Be well, my friends, and I'll see you on the other side.